All right. Welcome, everybody, to Season 1, Episode 9 of The Plunge. I am Brian Baymax Custer. I'm joined on the metaphorical casting booth here by the beautiful Rare Adam Coles. And even further past him, on the very far right of your screen, you will see our special guest for this evening, Mr. Alex Bodhi Haji.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. So, Mr. Alex Bodhi. He's the mid laner for No Good Luck Gaming, which is also the team that Mr. Rare Adam Coles may or may not know a thing or two about. So,
I'm the co-captain with him, by the way.
Yeah, it's we may have had Adam may have had a hand in getting his mid laner on the show tonight.
It's all about the nepotism, okay? Esports is all about nepotism.
It really is. It's a sad reality about the world we live in. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here. This is episode 9. We got playoffs action. We are 4 weeks from season 9 of Style Esports being over. We're near the end of the line here. Semifinals are happening this week for all of the teams that are not in the losers bracket. Losers bracket teams are still pushing forward to get to their semifinals match, I think next week or maybe the week after, depending on the bracket that we're in. But regardless, we're getting down to it. I think these brackets only have 4 teams left standing in most of them. So we're getting down to the wire here.
Yeah, for sure. And you can usually tell when we're getting down to the wire in Style because there is significantly less games to cast. There are like 3 casts a week as opposed to like during the year where people are fighting over getting on stream and everything. So that's the biggest thing. That's what I notice. I notice it for my PayPal. You notice it. You're like, oh, damn, not getting as much. But no, it's been a really good season thus far. I think that we've had a lot of interesting developments come through with some of our teams. I'm happy to see that we have some more Madison teams come through, as always. Y'all are doing a great job of bringing them in. We have some really creative names, I believe. In fact, we have one game where it is Madison Esports Flashback Goat Discs Cheese versus Madison Esports Aged Cashew and Blue-Green Algae Cheese. And I looked up both of those cheeses. They are real. I
appreciate that attention to detail. They could make up a cheese name and I wouldn't know any better. So it means something to know that they're actually real cheese names. I can respect that.
I'm a big fan of consistency when it comes to naming. A lot of teams just go blue or red, but the cheesing, that's a solid distinction. I love that.
Yeah. So Madison teams are doing quite well. Adam, as you said earlier tonight, you are the co-captain for No Good Luck Gaming. And I'm looking at my season 9 stats right here. No Good Luck Gaming, you guys are still going strong. You're in the Ixtal division, and you have taken down. You took down the 2nd seed team. No, yeah. You took down GVSU Silver. No, wait, hold on a second. No, you took. Let me start over. You guys took down GSW, the 2nd seed from Ixtal. This week you have to play against Elvenius Cyan. Cyan.
We play against Elventus, and I think that for us at this point,
the color palette on this the
color palette's a little
loud. It's so hard to read.
Elventus, we're really ready for them. Haven't done too much prep yet. They're the 1st seed. You know what? Who cares? That's what I say.
Yeah, they're.
What do you think, Haji?
Oh well, I mean, it's really unfortunate when you get the 1st seed and you're gonna be popped out like this. But it's it happens to everyone sometimes.
Well, you got to take them down sometime, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you lose before you even get the chance.
Oh, that's not gonna happen. I'm really excited for this game. Mostly because it's our last game before semifinals, and then we're obviously gonna win that one and move on to finals. I'm pretty excited for this one. We have had some decent, enjoyable games so far. Even the the series we lost, I don't even feel bad about those games. So I'm enjoying playoffs a lot so far.
You sound pretty confident. What in your view? What are the odds that No Good Luck Gaming walk away with 1st place in the Ixtal division?
A solid 96.7%. I'm pretty confident in it.
Okay. Why not 96.8?
Oh, well, Adam likes to have happy games every now and then.
Bro, yo, I knew this was gonna happen. I bring him on, he's gonna flame me. For the record, I did have a happy game on Maokai support. I don't know if that was necessarily that was kind of a sad game. That was more of a happy game when I played Rakan. The first game, I took 7 kills.
I've noticed that your Rakan is either sink or swim. You're making plays, and if you're ahead and you're making plays, they work out. Sometimes you get behind and you're still making plays. They don't work out as well. But okay, so 96.7%. What about you, Adam?
50%, because we're either going to win it or we're not.
What the fuck?
That is not. That's not how the probabilities work. I can see why Bodhi flames you. I can.
You know what? It's literally, but it is 50% because we win our next match. We win in the losers finals, and then we go to grand finals, and we have to win 2 series. And there is a chance that because they're best of 5s, like going through 2 best of 5s like that can be a little tiring, especially since we had to play that extra series to get there. But I think it's a 50% chance because realistically, the team that we're most likely going up against is Madison Esports. If we get that far, it's either going to be Madison or PCM Cloud, and I think PCM Cloud is pretty beatable for us. I would say they're a good team. So are Madison Esports, and we did lose to Madison Esports earlier, but I think that if we, collect ourselves, it's going to be, especially with holidays coming up, we're going to have a little bit more time to prep in between. We should be able to clean it up pretty nicely, and then I get all the team fees paid back that all these guys owe me anyway, so that's also a nice thing.
Hey, listen, I'm a big proponent, and Adam knows this because I've said it forever. Ever since I've started seeing the losers bracket implemented in leagues, just in general. I've been a big proponent that if you go into the losers bracket, it's you almost gain more going to the losers bracket than you go into the winners bracket. Like, people will say that like you play one more game, which is rough and sure, whatever. But like, more games is more time to synergize and get cohesion and build up momentum. And on top of that, especially if you end up facing the person who did beat you in the final or into the finals, then you know where you went wrong, and you can like build around that. Whereas they only have that past incarnation of you to work off of. So I'm excited. That redemption story, basically be 100 Thieves and take out Madison Esports in the finals.
But I think that's interesting because to add on to that, normally I think it's kind of close, but I take your point that it can be useful to get that extra match. But especially since we're on preseason now and like everything just changed, right? Like for the last 2 weeks, it's just been sort of a totally different ball game on Summoners Rifts. And getting that extra game's worth of practice actually might mean, I would say it does mean substantially more now than it would have meant, a month ago before preseason hit. And nobody really, like, the meta had been the same for a while, and the practice, one more game doesn't matter as much. It matters a lot more now. And is that part of why you are so confident that that you're going to be able to win against Elventius? Because Adam said you guys have prepped a lot for Elventius. He sounded very confident. And if you're the 50%er,
I mean, we haven't prepped a lot. I mean, it's just that we're confident going into it.
Why are you so confident going into Elventius?
We've prepped in our own strategies in some ways. I think that, especially against Madison, we had the idea that, hey, it's the first patch of the new season. Let's try something out. And it was a little bit of, I think we tried a little bit too much in that sense. Because realistically, if we just went with what was tried and true, which in game 2, it was a lot closer, where I did play Rakan, or did I play Leona that game? I played Rakan that game, and it was something that I was comfortable on because it was the exact same as it was in the previous patch. Like, it was significantly better, and there was just a couple of missed plays that led to our eventual demise, one of which was the fact that objective bounties hadn't been hot fixed yet, and we kind of lost the game.
Oh yeah, that was
brutal. But realistically, if we are facing Madison again, we're going to be ready for them. We know what champions they like to play. They know what champions we like to play as well, but do they really know all the champions we like to play? Because even last week, I pulled out an old classic. Haji's been playing a lot of AP champions, and he definitely plays more than just AP champions. That's all I'll say about that. And I think that we've got some strategies cooking up that, regardless of what team we're facing, we can definitely pull them out and could be some good results.
Yeah, I personally, I think one of the biggest strengths of our team in general is, when we don't have those strange picks that we're just like, let's go for it, and even if we do, I think that a lot of our drafts are really well made. Most of the time, I think that we draft really well. And the thing is that me personally, the way I view the game, drafts are so heavy-handed in how easy it makes the game for you to play. And I really think that if you are just like a better drafting team, you're set up so well that like you can have your happy plays and do like random ints every now and then, and it doesn't matter because you just win through just comp diff. Our top laner has been playing a lot of Zillion top and he played in our last series and got it banned because it's just this certain picks are so warping of the game that it's just you can't really play around them, especially when you don't have the practice against it.
So, talking about drafts, feel free to not answer this because this could give away information that you don't want to give teams that are that you may have to beat. But do you guys have like a side preference for drafts? Do you strongly favor like blue or red side? Because I know my collegiate team, we perform way better on red side. For example, usually it's because we get our mid laner who's our strongest player. We can guarantee him counter pick if we're red side, and if he has counter pick, like it doesn't matter if he's playing against the faker, he will pop off. He will have an insane game. He'll wait till there's like 5 seconds left in the counter on the timer, and he'll just be like, Kog'Maw mid. This is a Kog'Maw mid game. He'll just pop off. He'll go like 20-0 on Kog'Maw and 1v9 the entire game.
Yeah, I think
they pick red.
Yeah, I think red is so much stronger, especially in like the current meta. I think red has been a lot stronger for a while now, mostly because like there's no like turbo broken champs where like if you give this up, it's over. And thus like it's pretty good to be able to constantly be able to have the foot forward when it comes to drafting and stuff. And as you mentioned, with that being able to react really well and give counter picks. It's not even just like R5 counter pick, but R3 is really, really great to be able to have because you can take a solo lane or a jungler in R3 or something like that and just ban out any counters that you're worried about them picking. It's just such a strong side of draft that it's nuts.
And I think to add on to that point, it's interesting that we pick red side a lot more this season because last season we did pick blue side most of the time. And that was because Diana jungle. And we literally picked that every single... It would get to the point where I would get annoyed playing it. And then, like, our ADC Iranian would be like, you're taking too many kills. And I'd just be like, bro, I'm just having fun here. But it's not really the same case this time around where Diana jungle isn't like a hugely overpowering pick. Although I think that Diana with first strike is really strong. But I think that especially for us, our playstyle works a lot better because we have big champion pools. I mean, I think we can speak for all of our roles except for ADC, which is like it's the smallest champion pool already. We have, multiple champions that we're comfortable pulling out on any given day, and it gives us that flexibility to, if we're going to pick, ADC first, R1, R2, we have the flexibility then to look at R3 and blind pick something and maybe put it a flex pick or pick a support that might not be as commonly seen just to try and get a counter pick in. So red side is just kind of busted right now, as Haji said. So if you're playing against us, take red side and we totally won't first pick Sejuani.
Why Sejuani? Why? Is she broken? I know she's better than she's been. She's strong. I don't know if she's good enough. I don't know if she's good enough to make red side.
The big thing is our jungler. Who's a big Sejuani fan.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he's the reverse Yankos on that. So.
Reverse Yankos. I wanna go back to Adam. You mentioned AD carries and your AD carry not having as flexible of a champion pool. I think that's okay. I feel like for any given role, AD carry is probably the role where it's least important to have like a super diverse champion pool, because for the most part, AD carries are probably more interchangeable with other AD carries than most players from like any other role, right? Like most AD carries play pretty similarly. Even the ones that are more ability based, they still, in terms of their spacing, like most of them, primary damage is auto attacking. You're kiting around the edge of a fight. Some AD carries are harder to play than others. You got like Lucian and Kai'Sa who are short range diving in versus Ashe and Caitlyn who are staying further back and kiting backwards. But for the most part, relatively similar playstyles. Versus you have like mid lane or top lane where you have or even support or jungle where you just have all kinds of different champions that can play those roles. You have take top lane, for example. You mentioned Zilean top lane earlier, Bodhi. Supports have been good top lane. Soraka, Zilean not as commonly, but occasionally he's even been like meta, like top tier top lane pick, right? You have hardcore tanks, Mundo, Sion, Cho'Gath. You've got carries, Camille, AD carries, AP carries. Pretty much every type of champion has at some point been good top lane, mid lane, jungle. AD carry is not really the same way. You get like AP carries that are sometimes good. Every once in a while, you have like when Senna came out, set AD carry was good. Really, it was Senna AD carry. She was just support.
And to be fair, we have tried some things with that in the past. I don't want to say that it's like our AD carry has a small champion pool. It's just that there's not a lot of marksmen. Realistically, you look at the separation of all the roles and everything. Jungle, you have to scroll down for it. Mid lane, top lane, you have to scroll down. Support fills up the entire thing. You can't even scroll for the AD carries because there's not that many. And realistically, the biggest spice of bot lane was the fact that Ziggs went back bot lane. And it's like, come on, it's Ziggs, like Monka W. What are you gonna do? You just sit there. But I think that at least with our AD carry, there's a very distinct hierarchy of what champions are strong and what what he's comfortable on, and what is something that we're not as comfortable picking. So that's why a lot of the times we will give pick prio, so that we can say, hey, we can draft the comp around, for instance, Misfortune. We're gonna pick a support that can provide the adequate support. I mean, everyone's seen the Rakan at this point, but there are other champions that I will pull out if necessary with the Misfortune to make it work. If not, let's say we're picking, Misfortune gets banned, we'll just go to the next champion down, and et cetera, et cetera. We have, like, at least for bot lane with him and I, we have combos that can work with each of the AD carries, and we've practiced them enough that for the most part we're flexible enough just in that regard. And then we leave the rest of the draft open to the roles that do have, a million champions to play in them.
What about you, Bodhi? How deep's your champion pool? What's the craziest pick you've ever pulled out mid lane?
Oh, no. Don't get him started on this one.
Oh, that's hard. Is it Vayne mid? Adam, what do you think? Craziest?
I think it's Nidalee mid.
Oh, dude, I stand by that. I really think that's a decent niche pick. You can go both.
When would you pick Nidalee? When would you do it?
Middly, you could go AP Middly into like regular control mages, especially because they really cannot stand up to like her quick burst. And on top of that, you can also pick her into more short ranged melees. Like when a lot of bruisers were meta, you could pick her because you could go AD bruiser Middly and run Emax. and it was really good, especially if you could just beat them through a war of attrition. Which Adam, these days I really love playing those champions that you want to like trade your health bar for their mana and then just beat them that way. I love that play style. Ever since like Set got released, it's like Viego was awesome. I really miss Viego actually.
Sad.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Middley is probably the craziest. We haven't pulled out in a competitive. Maybe this Sunday.
Maybe this Sunday.
You know what? If we can bait out bans by just saying that, then go like yeah. You know what? Our jungler's been playing a whole bunch of
everyone in the Ixtal division. Ban Nidalee from Alex.
Like, but for real, like the first strike Nidalee jungle. Just saying. Or
first
lethal
strike,
tempo Nidalee.
First strike Jace mid is. I
think first strike Jace. People are sleeping on Jace, man. Jace is so good.
Yeah,
first strike is like perfect for him. Every time you really just like a million gold.
I slept on first strike a lot, and Adam can attest to this. I slept on first strike a lot when it first got showed off, especially for mid laners, because a lot of mid laners have enough like poke to be able to get rid of that. But I think I was watching Nemesis and I saw him running it, and I saw how much gold he was getting just from EQs. And I was like, that's crazy. And then on top of that, I learned that you get gold throughout the entire proc of it, not just the start. And it's part kind of busted.
Because you get if you switch to melee, you get more gold for melee than ranged. If you play as Jace and you switch to melee within 3 seconds, it takes like 3 seconds for the gold to actually hit. You'll get the melee gold even though you hit him with the ranged EQ. So it's actually gross. He gets so much gold.
Yeah, Jace is really nuts right now, mid. I've ran first strike a few times now, and it's amazing. I love it. But I enjoy most AD mid laners, so.
Yeah, I don't normally think of Jace mid anyway. I would still think probably Jace top would be. I've run a Jace top a few times in my. I haven't been playing solo queue because preseason. I've been playing flex, but I ran into the Jace a few times in flex top lane. It's just not fun or fair.
It's really nuts that you can, especially since you're going inspiration anyways, you can run into futures market and you just get an insane edge in gold and items over your opponent. It's crazy. It's such a good combination.
Yeah, he could have like no kills at all, no kill participation. Maybe he got like one turret plate, right? And you both recall, and he comes back with like a full completed item, and you have like a sheen or something. It's like, how does that? It's so just for poking you, just for doing the thing that Jace is best at, just for like EQing you once in a while, auto attacking you once in a while.
Yeah, I think Jace might. Actually, I haven't looked at his like actual run rates or anything, but I would not be surprised to see if he gets.
Peek. I'm gonna pull up some stats here. What do you think, Adam? You haven't said much about Jace.
I played Jace a lot before, actually.
No way. Okay, this has to be skewed somehow.
No, like honestly.
No, he's talking about the win rate.
I just saw.
No, so, I mean for me, it's. I've had this really weird goal of getting every champion to Mastery 7. If you look at my LoL Master, I think I have like 100 champions at Mastery 5. So I basically played every champion to like a decent degree. I think that's what kind of leads to some of my happy picks is that I'm like, I have Mastery 5 Maokai. I know how to play this champion. And then I pick and I go 1 and 9. And it's like, gosh, damn, maybe we shouldn't have done that. But and Matt, no, I don't have Kata 7. Katarina's my least Mastery champion.
Wow.
But
least
overall,
why no?
I think she is my least. Maybe it's Vex.
Oh, what the hell?
As Haji's camera is having a freak out. Anyways, I think Jace is really strong right now. Is still a flex pick in a lot of ways. So there's definitely a lot of room for it to fit into drafts.
So I just did a very, very extremely thorough scientific Google search, and the very first result that came back said that Jace has only a 48% win rate, but he has. Let me pull it up here. Oh, hold on, I gotta. There we go. 83.1% popularity top lane. So
nuts.
And his so that's popularity. That's role preference. So he's getting played 80% of the time top lane. His popularity, just in terms of like how often he's picked in games, it says 13%, which is pretty high. It's not.
That's
like,
insane. That's actually really insane.
It's pretty high. Jay's a pretty hard champion to play too, so it doesn't surprise me that much that if he's getting played a lot, his win rate would be not super high.
Yeah. I'm looking at Korea on right here. Jace is has a 20.7% pick rate in Korea.
I mean,
That's stupid high.
I think a big reason or a big problem is that while he is like, I think he is at the very least in theory really busted just because of the rune. A lot of his counters are in pretty good spots, like Dr. Mundo, Nasus, Cho'Gath.
Mundo's
They're
really
all
strong.
Yeah, Mundo's really good. I think tanks, and you know, I always get irritated when I hop onto good old like League of Legends subreddit and everything. And I'll see people like complaining about tanks and their items, but I really think tank items are in a really good spot right now.
Fimbulwinter? Yep.
Yeah, Fimbulwinter's kind of nuts, but mostly because I love it on Rise. So.
I think the what's it called, the crown, the mage item. I think that situationally, that item is just busted as heck. It's just ridiculous situationally. It's not the kind of thing you build all the time, but the item that basically gives you like Malzahar passive, but lasts for like 2 seconds. It doesn't disable crowd control, but it makes it basically impossible for you to one shot that person. And it's
into specific comps. I definitely agree that it's busted. Being able to build it into comps that like go, you know, 3 melee, 4 melee, or even if they're range but shorter range, like a Rise or something, it's just
I have a hard time seeing a world where like, you know, dive comps or assassin comps are like a lot of dive heavy compositions are gonna have a really hard time dealing with any champion running that item. And the crazy thing about the crown to me is it actually still gives a ton of AP. It gives like 80 in the base stats, but it also gives, what does it do? It gives more ability power based on I think how much mana you have. Let me double check. I don't remember for sure. Crown. Yeah. What's it called? I don't even know what it's called.
Crown of the Shattered Queen.
That's the one.
A fun note.
by the way.
It is the one name is called Sisura. Is
you already learned that?
Yeah, it's Sisura. It's literally the worst name I've ever heard, apart from like upgraded Arrow Pack and Turbocharged Experiment. Both of those suck as well. Meanwhile, Evan Shroud, the other new mythic for supports, is called Equinox, and that one makes a lot of sense because, you know, even Shroud, if you want to say it that way, Equinox the middle, and basically anyone who builds Evan Shroud shits on Soraka, and her E is called Equinox. So there you go.
Oh. Thank you for that heads up. I have the stats on Crown of the Shattered Queen, and I was wrong. It's not ability power based on maxed mana, but it has a unique passive called Poise. That so the mechanic that like protects you, gives you the Malzahar passive, is called Safeguard. And while you are safeguarded, and for up to 3 seconds after Safeguard is deactivated, you get between 10 to 40 bonus ability power. So the item gives a minimum of 80 and a maximum of 110 ability power based on level, which is decent considering it also gives the crazy survivability that Safeguard provides and the health. It's not good at shredding tanks, and it's definitely not as good. It's not as good at like one-shotting somebody as Luden's Echo or something, but it's a really strong item.
I actually think Mage
situationally.
Yeah, I think mages are probably as busted as they've been in the last like 3 seasons or so.
Pretty much all the mage mythics are good.
Yeah, they're the mage mythics, and Shadow Flame is nuts as an item. Like being able to get both Shadow Flame and if you wanted to like Void Staff, you have so much, like you will shred tanks. While still doing really good damage to squishies as well. It's crazy.
I'm gonna pull up mid lane tier list. Or yeah, Victor. That doesn't surprise me at all. I was gonna say if there is a picker ban champion for my team, the last game we played, it was Victor. Victor mid lane is just he's gross. I don't know about first strike. I know people have been taking first strike on Victor. I don't know if that's is good.
It's the same idea behind Klepto, Victor. It's more so that you can just drop that little bit of extra damage from the beginning, because once you get to late game, if you double lift and walk right into a Victor with first strike, all of a sudden, instead of doing 100% of his damage, which will kill you, he'll do 110% of his damage. He'll kill you, and then he'll get bonus gold off of you, which is kind of nice, because if you're double lifting into a Victor like that, you probably are worth like 100 gold. So at least he gets 150 gold for killing you after that.
We played against a Victor mid with first strike the last series we played. I don't personally play a lot of Victor. I'll be upfront with that. I haven't played a lot of Victor since like season 4. I'm still riding. My Mastery 5 is still riding off of like season 4 days. But I don't know. It's just I can see where the like the theory is. Very similarly to Jay's, except you can't get the melee gold. You can still end up abusing really heavily with that EQ combo and getting a bunch of gold out of it.
So, Bodhi, I got a question for you. Just off top of your head, who do you think is harder to play, Victor or Jace?
Jace.
Think Jace is harder to play? Okay.
Victor.
What do you think, Adam?
I say Victor, but that's just because I'm absolutely awful at landing line skill shots. Like I will, when I play Victor or when I play Rumble, I will disable quick cast so that I can like.
You just have to drag it, dude.
Okay, but it's like for me, I'd rather just when I'm sitting trying to land like a perfect ultimate somewhere, I will like click and drag.
Yeah, you prep it
as opposed to just like hoping that I land it. So that's why I think Victor's harder.
Well, I was also gonna say Victor, but so two gets one. Bodhi's wrong. He loses. But either way, I think it's even if you think Jace is harder, it's fair to say I think that Victor is a fairly difficult champion to play. He's not super easy. And personally, just because his early laning phase. What do you take issue with that?
No. I think he's difficult to play, but not in a sense like Victor is difficult to play in the sense that you have reduced power early, obviously, and you're not like a full champion until you get 1 or 2 of your hex scores. Really 1, because that's when you can just start eating the wave and not caring about the wave state or anything like that if you really want to. But the reason I think that Jace is so much harder to play, specifically top lane, but also kind of mid lane, is that he's been balanced all this time around getting heavy leads early, to the point where it's not as impactful nowadays, especially with how cheap his items are and stuff like that. But if you can't like min max that early, on top of piloting him really well into the late, then it's just like a useless champion. With regards to Victor, if you just like throw your keyboard down on someone who's overstepping a little bit or something like that, then like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, once you get to 3 items, you just blow up anybody.
Yeah. Whereas Jace, it's still kind of like that with Jace, obviously, right? Like 3 hit. We were just playing a game like an hour ago with our ADC and Adam, where I was playing first strike Jace. I got to like 3 items and I was half healthing people with EQs. But I don't know. I think Jace is really contendent on like a lot of smaller mechanics that people don't even like think about, like abusing your W as much as you possibly can. It seems inconsequential, but like it's so important to be able to get the most out of him, and actually make him worth that pick. But I'm also talking from like a mid lane size of it and stuff, and
I think he's a little harder to play mid lane because it's a shorter lane. You have less. It's not as easy to take advantage of your range in mid lane. I think top lane he's a little bit better at being that lane bully. It's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Plus, there's more champions mid lane that can like contend with his range.
I think that Jason at mid lane has an easier time if they get ahead. I think that Jace top lane against tanks and stuff, like they just build tank, and then it's like, okay, now I try and EQ you and I do like 5% of your health, and then you just, I don't know, you auto me as Maokai, and now you're full health again. I think in the mid lane you can snowball a little bit easier because it's so easy to just go bot, and since bot is just literally a walking double kill for Jace if you have like 4 or 5 items. Or 4 or 5 kills, sorry, not 4 or 5 items. You just walk down there and you pick up a double kill because, you know, your Rakan is just so good at the game and everything. But,
well,
I mean,
Bodhi was saying, Jace top lane is balanced around the idea that he's going to be like an item ahead. You know, he's balanced around the idea that, like, okay, if assuming an even playing field, sure, by the time Maokai gets 2 or 3 tank items, if he has 2 tank items and Jace has 2 damage items, Maokai might be fine in the 1v1. But assuming even skill level players who are equally skilled at their champions, Maokai is going to be at 1 item about the time Jace hits 2 items. Because that early laning phase, the range advantage does matter a lot. And before Maokai gets those tank items, you can't sustain through it. You can't.
Yeah.
Plus, now first strike just lets Jace hit his items so much quicker too. So
yeah, yeah. I think I think that that's like kind of what might be changing my perspective on Jace versus Victor in the specific thing. Adam is definitely correct on like how different Jace mid versus Jace top is though. Whereas this is actually a big problem I have with a lot of like Jace like champions in the top lane is that you have to be like really proficient to the point where you are going to be able to guarantee you're going to get those heavy leads and that you're actually going to like move them elsewhere. Because like Jace, if you keep Jace going, he's not gonna be that champion. Maybe he will, depending on like how the game works, obviously. But a lot of times, tanks will get to the point where they can shrug off his poke and his dueling potential. And some of them like Orin or Mundo obviously can turn that around entirely. To the point where you are no longer taking Jace into that side lane. Like Jace top lane to me is one of those champions that like, okay, I'm gonna try to get as much of the gold as I can in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then I have to leave to try to make this worth it for the rest of my team. I have to like put myself into scenarios to where this gold advantage is going to make my pick worth it. Whereas Jace mid, I'm not gonna have that problem. Like if I'm playing into a Victor, I am not gonna have to worry, you know, like 20 minutes into the game that I'm just not gonna do damage to him.
I suppose that makes sense. I feel like you don't always. One of the nice things now is with turret platings and Rift Heralds.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's a little bit easier to have that impact from the top lane than it used to be. It's a little bit easier to like, okay, I'm hard stopping my lane. That means that I guarantee my team probably first and second Herald. First Herald before turret platings fall. So I'm guaranteeing maybe my mid laner, if he wants it, you know, 3 turret plates worth of gold plus first turret for my team. If first Herald is enough to knock it down, second Herald will be, you know. So if he doesn't get it already top lane, like I don't feel like Jace is that good at like leaving lane and creating advantages elsewhere, but he is really, really good at just opening up the map for his team and saying like, okay, they don't have a top laner and their jungler can't step in the top side jungle, and we have deep vision in their top side, and we just know where everyone is and where everything's happening. And that's a big part of it too. You don't have to necessarily be like, you know, diving bot lane, killing the AD carry. You can do that if you're in a position to do it, but if you're like giving top lane tower for it, I feel like a lot of time it's just better if you have that. You know, Jace wants to win the game probably 30 minutes, right? If you have that giant lead early, you can just keep pushing that lead. You can force the enemy team to bring somebody else top lane. You can say, hey, like, you're going to keep bleeding towers. This tank, like, he can't stop me. Maokai can't stop me. You're going to keep bleeding towers unless you send 2, maybe even 3 people up here. And because I'm just going to one-shot the first squishy person that comes. You got to send 3. I don't know. I feel like Jace is not, like, he's hard to play, but I feel like Victor's harder. But I'm biased because I play mid lane and I play control mages like Anivia and Anivia. She was my main for a long time.
Man, you're the worst kind of mid laner, man. Just playing Anivia.
Well, I play Anivia, Vigar, basically a bunch of champions that have like super weak early laning phases. So I have like a ton of appreciation for the amount of work that goes in to like doing well on champions with really shitty laning phases. And Victor's laning phase, it's gotten better than it used to be. I think his hex core items are better than they used to be, but it's still hard. I don't know. Whenever I play Victor, I struggle in the early game. But anyway, the reason I brought this all up was because I looked up Victor's stats, or just the mid lane tier list. Victor is number 1. He's S+ tier. He's got a 52.92% win rate, and his pick rate is 13.1%.
Jesus.
So for how high his pick rate is, that win rate is just nuts. It's absurd, I think. Kassadin is below him with 52.56% win rate, but a 7.5% pick rate. So Kassadin is still really good. And then,
do you think Kassadin's mega busted? Yeah.
I think Kassadin is good partly because control mages are good, right? Like Kassadin is an answer. So Victor's good. I think Lux and Nivea are pretty good. Like other control mages are good. Kassadin is a good answer to control mages. You pick Victor and Kassadin just sort of says, okay, well, you'll get a skill for free, but so will I. And
I do think that that's partially true. I also think that like some of the newer items like Shadowflame, like Fimbulwinter, have like Kassadin previously was like very similar to Rise in that he could go tank items and still do Kassadin is one of those champions where like the common conception about him is that he's really good into ranged squishy mages, and it's mostly from like season 3, season 4, and it's still true today. But he's not bad into AD champions, especially not as bad as like he used to be, or like the way people like consider him or think about him. If I pick like Kassadin and someone picks like Zed or Yasuo, it's open mining for me. I can just go, you know what? Okay, cool. You'll have the advantage in the first like 6, 7, 8 levels, and then I'm gonna get like a Frozen Heart and turn that into like a Fimbulwinter, and then keep going from there. And I'm still gonna do a bunch of damage just because of how Kassadin is, especially if I just max E, and I'm just gonna run over the rest of your team on top of that, and you're just not gonna do damage to me. I think that Kassadin is one of those champions that like really thrives off the new items because he can go, squishier burst Kassadin, or if he wants to, he can still go that super tanky Kassadin who's gonna roll over you anyways.
Speaking of carries building tank, my collegiate team we lost our conference finals, but we made it to the losers bracket of the playoffs that happened after that, and we just lost that against the team that was seeded 7th in the entire country. So they're a pretty strong team. They had 2,000 LP challenger players and a grandmaster player and 2 more master players, but we lost to them. But we took a game off them, and the game we took off them, our AD carry R5'd Vayne, and he built what did he build? He built like 3 tank items. He built Witsand, Randuin's, and some other like gross tank item. And because their team was super tanky, and they couldn't kill him. They had like 1 dive champion. It was Lee Sin. Lee Sin couldn't touch him. He had like Randuin's tabbies, and he just killed everyone. He got super fed on Vayne. It was great. It was hilarious.
I know Vaynes have been popping up a little bit more recently. Like
Lethal
first
Tempo,
because
baby.
Lethal Tempo, yes, Lethal Tempo is a busted rune. I think we talked about it last time where Bam actually said, "What, you got 1v1 by a Kale at level 1?"
Yeah, I walked into my tri-bush. I was playing Gnar. I walked into my tri-bush red side heading to lane, and the Kale was waiting in there, and she killed me level 1. She just autoed me down. I was floored. I probably could have ran away, but this was like my first game on preseason. I didn't even know what Lethal Tempo did yet, and I looked at it. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Kale passive. Okay. Kale passive is subtle too, though. I played a lot of Kale last season, I think, and it was Kale passive. Kale passive will mess you up. Even early.
I walked into her right. Normally, Kale is not on my list of champions that I'm like afraid are camping my tri-bush waiting for me to walk to lane. It's like, okay, Darius, Jace, Camille, Fiora, not Kale. Normally, I'm guessing Kale is like huddled under her tower, afraid that I'm going to do that to her. you know? It's like, or hiding in a bush, just trying to get CS. But she killed me. It was unfortunate. I think Lethal Tempo is really good. I think Jinx is insane. I think Vayne is really good.
Yeah, Jinx was. I don't know about if you guys watched them. I was watching the in-houses that for Core JJ that he was setting up with the 4 teams, and I know that they talked about how Jinx is just like perma pick ban up in high elo and everything. And it was pretty pick ban from my memory in that in those series too. Lethal Tempo is just cool rune.
Yeah. I think the bot lane meta right now is really interesting because there's Jinx, there's Caitlyn, there's
Predator Jhin.
both the Arcane. There's Predator Jhin.
I love that Predator Jhin is good.
Also, like Senna is, I think, pretty strong right now. I was talking with. Can we call him our coach, Matt? Can we call Matt our coach? Yeah, he's our coach. Yeah, Matt, about options on Senna. Like you can go Fleet Footwork, you can go Lethal Tempo. I've heard you can go Grasp. You can go. There's a lot of different runes that you can go on Senna to make her useful. And
I feel like none of them are. I feel like none of them are great though. Like she's got a lot of like okay options. I feel like none of them are super good.
I'm just saying, have you ever seen a Senna walk into lane with like, she's got her 40 souls or whatever, and then she starts auto attacking you, and all of a sudden she has 700 range because of Lethal Tempo?
Oh, Lethal Tempo. Okay, you mentioned a lot of runes that weren't Lethal Tempo.
Yes, Fleet Footwork because you're so long range that you're just like, hey, my Fleet Footwork is stacked. I have a little bit less health. You press Q on them and it procs Fleet Footwork. Oh, because it's an auto attack as well.
I think Danny was like swearing by Comet Senna. I'm not sure like the thought
process on it. Too.
Airy, was it Airy?
There's Airy Senna as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the thought process is behind it. Maybe she just becomes like an Uber lane harasser. But yeah, I've been seeing a few different iterations of runes. It'll be interesting to see what they settle on. Airy makes more sense than Comet, I guess, with the Q heal.
And I mean, we've seen Airy ADCs with Xayah, right? Xayah built lethality, went Airy. And
they're still doing that?
For 2 days at least, it was the most broken thing.
Yeah.
And then even now, it still pops up. I think that I've seen, casting for other leagues and stuff, I've seen a couple of lethality Senna still come through, and it's still really strong. And the main thing about
looks like her most items still, yeah, most played.
Yeah, like the interesting thing about Xayah is that you can draft that, and on hit Xayah is still really good. She got so many buffs to her ultimate just to make it more useful. And Xayah already does a whole bunch of damage once you get to 3 or 4 items. Because you get that W buff, and I mean when you've got an amazing Rakan player on your team, you can combo them up too. But regardless, I think
our team's been picking Xayah a lot.
Xayah's I think really strong right now.
I think Xayah's strong. We also have a Rakan player on our team, so that helps. But I think even without Rakan, Xayah is.
I don't know. We're just built different,
Well, I think Xayah's again. She's. I think she's blindable. That's something that we've
haven't seen in a while.
To like R2, R1, R2 like Xayah and either Xayah Rakan or like Xayah and like a jungler or something, because Xayah is just super blindable. I think a lot of AD carries are. It's all about the support matchup bot lane. It's like
I think bot lane is a really support centered. I think ADCs are just like just the fill in, just waiting there to wait till 20 minutes, 25, depending on the champion, right? Jinx and Vayne are a little bit, they're built different. But
right now, but I feel like most AD carries, they just sit there and they're like, I need a gank, or hey, you took my cannon minion, you took my ward, and I'm just walking around, Chad Rakan walking through, trying to get all my zombie ward stacks and everything, and my AD carries, hey, can you please give me 30 gold? I need it for my Infinity Edge. It's like a 40% crit Infinity Edge or some shit. Like,
I'm curious on what you guys think. Outside of Jinx and Vayne, which I think most of us would agree are top 2, like pretty easily. Who do you think fills out as like the third best ADC?
Third best. I don't know for sure. I don't really feel like I have enough experience with the meta. We pick Xayah a lot. Like for us, Xayah, although Caitlyn is good, I think.
Oh no. Adam's
think
a big fan of Caitlyn.
yes.
What does Adam think?
Caitlyn,
Adam's answer is probably more enlightened than mine.
Caitlyn's the best character in Arcane, so it does not matter what any of you think. I honestly think the third best ADC right now is still Misfortune, though. Her ultimate is so useful. They didn't really directly nerf her ult. They nerfed her W, which is like, okay, it might take on-hit Misfortune down a little bit more, crit Misfortune down, but lethality Misfortune is still really strong. And even with the tank items being stronger, there's still a lot of people who are like, you know what, I'm just going to play what I'm comfortable with. I'm going to play Camille. And it's like, okay, you can play Camille, and I'm going to walk up to you when I have, my Ghost Blade and my Eclipse, and I'll walk up to you, I'll 3-shot you, and you're dead. So
okay,
I think
Adam, there are, I'm on U.GG right now, and
yes.
the 80s carry tier list. According to U.GG, there are four S plus tier 80 carries. 2 of them are Vayne and Jinx.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the other 2 are?
According to U.GG, I think it's going to be... Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Misfortune and Caitlyn.
Nope. But
there's one champion.
We mentioned one of the champions before, but one of them we haven't even talked about. You can't look it up. That's cheating.
I don't.
I see. Adam, I see the lights flashing on your screen. I see.
No, I'm reading chat. I'm seeing what they say.
Okay. I should be more diligent about reading chat. I'm still.
I do think
a streamer.
I do think Jin's up there. He's probably up there with the Predator. I think being able to Predator 4 shots kind of stupid.
Jin is one of them. Any guesses on the other one? The fourth 80 carry that's S plus tier?
I swear, if it's Ziggs, I'm gonna throw hands.
Is it actual 80 carry? Can I get a hint?
It's not. It is an actual 80 carry.
Okay. You said it was only one that we talked about previously, so
we didn't mention them. What did you say?
Draven?
It's Draven. Draven is the other S plus tier 80 carry.
Is it still? Is it lethal tempo now, or is it? I wonder.
Let me look and see if I can see.
Why don't you be like electrocute?
Draven's one of those champions that just invents builds.
It looks like it's lethal tempo.
Yeah, I can
Which
see that.
Would seem like lethal tempo is disgusting, so I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, I think Draven's one of those champions. Like, I was of the mindset that Draven was busted at Worlds, like complete busted in that patch. And not just ADC. I think he was busted top and mid too. But
Alas, is that you? Alas, is that you? Hello. Masses on weekends. Hello.
I do think he was really good mid and top as well. And then bot lane, he was really strong. But like the thing is, most ADCs don't play him. Like they cannot play him because of the juggling mechanic. Like it's like Guma, and that's like the only AD. Well, I think Viper could do it, but he doesn't. Does Ghost play it?
Yeah, like I mean, if I'm looking at Draven from Worlds right now, it was picked 4 times, I believe. Where are you, Draven? Draven, where are you? This is
the thing is that they didn't change him at all. I don't believe. I don't remember any changes to him.
They changed the League of Draven passive. They made it so that it executes.
Oh well, yeah. No, I mean I'm talking about afterwards, right? That's what made him busted, in my opinion. Like just over absurdly so. But when it comes to like current patch, I don't think they made any changes to him. I don't think they nerfed him. They didn't mess with his items. They gave him arguably a better rune with lethal tempo. So I'm not too surprised that he's high up there. It's just the thing that most ADCs can't play him.
Yeah, our AD carry. We there's a couple times where I've been like, man, Drave would be so good here, and he's like, yeah, don't play him. So
yeah, I feel you. All in my soul with that one.
Draven was picked 5 times. Once by Hansama, once by Deft, once by Doggo, and twice by Ghost. Had a 40% win rate. Doggo and Ghost were the only 2 to win on it. But it did get banned
surprised Guma didn't play it.
It got
I
banned
know he plays it.
27 times, if I'm counting that
That's
correctly.
a lot of times.
That is right behind Graves and before Camille in terms of bans.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
A 40% win rate over 5 games is not exactly a scientific peer-reviewed sample size. Like that is pretty much irrelevant as far as statistics go. The ban rate is pretty telling, though. I think, right? Like their teams are that afraid of it for a reason.
Meanwhile, Houston had a 97.5% pick ban rate, bro.
Oh god, dude.
God, and it was only played jungle.
Yeah.
Oh, Bedge, man, Bedge.
I kind of want to try it mid. I'm not sure how I do with new items around.
You sound like the kind of guy that would try like Rel mid or something.
Rel
is not a champion right now. I'm so.
I feel like I would like make fun of Rel and Bodhi be like, no, she's super good mid. You just gotta run like first strike and take biscuits or something, and you'll just like one shot everybody.
Yeah, Adam can confirm. I play a lot of stuff mid. I remember a while back, Jax mid was like my thing.
By the way, we haven't mentioned Jax yet. Honorable mention as another broken lethal tempo user. Go on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? He might actually be good mid again with lethal tempo, to be honest. But every now and then I get on a kick where like I figure out some mechanic on a champion, or like I realize like, or I just randomly play a mid and I'm like, holy yeah, this is like really cool. This could be definitely like a really strong like pocket pick or random niche thing. And then I just like add them to the pool. I think Pike was one of them. I don't know what caused
me.
We
ran Pike as a flex for a bit.
Yeah,
as a possible at least.
Adam, are you alive? You disappeared.
I don't know. My camera just busted. I'm figuring it out.
Okay. I believe in you.
Pike was one of those champions where like I played him once or twice and I was like, yeah, this is kind of stupid that you can just get absurd gold off of your ult and just generate so much. I went down like 0-3 and what like we played a competitive game with it. I went down like 0-2 or 0-3 randomly, like right out the gate because I inted, not realizing Lee Sin can proc electrocute with his second E. Yeah, so it just requires abilities. It doesn't require damaging abilities. Didn't know that at the time.
I actually did know that because I one of my favorite tricks on Anivia is to like proc electrocute with a wall. Is to like e-auto wall somebody and just electrocute.
You're the worst cypher, right? Adam knows it. I despise Anivia. It's actually probably the most annoying champion in the game for me because she messes up so many of my champions.
She just like sits there menacingly.
Yeah, like oh god, and if you just let her get like a tier and then she just throws ult mid and then I can't interact half the time, I despise that so much.
Yeah, you don't get to touch the wave until she clears it. You just can't. You just have to let her do her thing.
I think Kassadin's the only pick that I feel decent about.
Kassadin is definitely good into Anivia.
But yeah, champions like Jax, Pike, I'll randomly pick up. With Pike, we went down like I was saying, like we went down like 0-2, 0-3, or I did. Me personally, I ran it down first like 5 minutes, and then I ended that game. I ended that game like 12-3 or like 13-3 or some stuff. Like you get 1 or 2 kills, and it does like the gold that you amass on that champion is absurd. You just generate so much.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Pike in a while though.
Oh yeah, I think it's because he's not a great bot. He's not a great support into a lot of like meta.
Well, he's
supports.
not good. Is he? Are you like you haven't been playing him mid recently, have you?
Not like these.
They were like 3 patches ago.
Yeah,
well, his he still can't shove the wave worth of crap, can he? Like he's still really bad at that. They nerfed his which ability is that used to damage
the E.
Yeah,
he uses E before Ghost
so the trick was you would go or at least if you're worried about wave control, you would go something like Stride Breaker, and you could not easily, but you'd push waves pretty decently with Stride Breaker, but really you weren't looking. No, so if you look at Davemon, he's like so anytime I play these kind of champions, especially if they're wonky, I'll look for like one tricks, especially high elo one tricks who play them if I can find them outside of the roles. Like Davemon is like probably the best bike mid player, at least NA. And like he does I got a lot of builds from him out the gate, but he like swears against Tiamat where it's just like it's not worth it, cuz especially the new one, cuz you can't even use the active anymore. But yeah, it's one of those champions that like you're not going to have wave control. But you can get a lot of like especially cheesy early kills because people don't realize how much kill potential someone like Pike has without ult.
Yeah, I think Pike being good mid literally relies on people on people being inexperienced against the pick because they're just like they get caught off guard. It's like, oh shoot, he could actually kill me there, you know? Because do you run Halo Blades?
Yeah. I run Halo Blades, and then I either would go Stridebreaker, or originally it was really good to go. What is the lethality item that you can just dash through people?
Oh, probably.
Prowler's Claw, thank you. Out of it. But then they nerfed the crap out of it.
You're not allowed to talk until we can see you again. You gotta get back on camera.
My camera is not fixing itself. Listen, I played a lot of Pike too. I taught him.
I can hear you eating. All right, I know your camera's working fine. You're literally just like, I got hungry.
Listen, I am a
snack.
But yeah, either Prowler's Claw, but now it's bad, so you would just go Dark Blade, Darken Blade, or Stridebreaker. I think Stridebreaker is still workable, even though it's like not 99% slow.
Okay. Well, let's. I was gonna answer somebody on chat. Euphoria said something. What did you say, Euphoria? Oh yeah, you confirmed that Rel was very bad, especially when Adam is trying to jump walls.
Listen, that happened twice in our last game where I tried to jump over a wall and I just face planted into it. It was not very fun.
That does sound like something you would do. I've seen a couple of your Recon games that didn't go so well.
Man, is this just
the Rel? But I do remember it was like 3 or 4 broadcasts ago. You got mad at me because I included like a clip on a VOD of you messing up and engage or like walking into like a tribush and dying or something.
Adam is a very hyphy player. There's like 2 things I've realized about Adam since I've started playing with him so long ago. He's always looking for a good in, and if he can't get a good in, he'll take a bad in.
And then play my ADC.
Can we get a VOD review of that game live on podcast? What do you guys think? Should we do that next week? Should we? I can find it. I bet I can find it.
Oh man, VOD review. I think VOD review would be actually a really fun thing to do.
We could do that
on a podcast.
I don't know if we could do that game actually, because I don't have the full game saved unless Adam does. It's probably gone to the ether because that was a few weeks ago. So
yeah, but yeah, that and Adam loves his vision score, and he'll improve it by any means necessary.
I'm just saying. I have what was I think the first amateur league.
The first and second, bro.
The first and like literally the very first amateur league game I played. I had to sub in for someone because this was who was on that team? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was
Euphoria says it was last weekend. It definitely the one I'm thinking of was not last weekend because we didn't have a broadcast last weekend. It was at least
it wasn't last weekend.
So, I would definitely believe that Adam runs it down like every weekend or so. So
no,
but what league was that? It was one of when I filled
LHB. I think it was called. I can't remember what the full name is.
It was something like that. But I remember I played Recon both games. Loss, but I ended up I think the first game with like an average vision score of 4.2 per minute. Blew everyone else's vision score out of the water, and now I had to tweet about that a while ago. And I'm like, they don't know I'm an amateur league record holder.
The first and second records off of that fucking series.
So like every time someone badmouths Adam now, he can just be like, "Oh yeah, well guess what? I am a Vision Score amateur record holder."
Like Azale.
Know.
It's like Azale being a world champion.
Azale. I like Azale, but I don't know about world champion.
No, it's because he was a world champion in WoW.
Oh, was he? So I didn't know that.
So he's like that's like his joke is he's a Azale literal world champion.
Literal world champion. Just don't ask what in.
Yeah. It was in arenas way back when.
Is he one of those people that was like it was the early days and everyone was bad and so he just grinded super hard and was super good? I know whenever a new game comes out, you know, it's always easier to grind to higher ranks. Like the ranks are always super inflated very early on. So.
Oh yeah, it was like back in like the Burning Crusade, like
that means
early
nothing to me. I don't play that game.
The like 2005's era was
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was God. I'm so old. There's people who were born in 2005 who are they're 16 now. They're like almost relatable.
Yeah,
they're like almost adults. There's probably people playing in this league who are that age.
Yeah, actually. I
almost definitely.
I'm pretty young. I'm pretty young myself, as well as Adam.
How old are you, Mr. Bodie?
I'm 21. And even though I'm
that old, but
yeah, and even though I'm young, and I'm sure you feel this sometimes, I still feel so old sometimes, especially.
Dude, the PlayStation 2 had its 20th anniversary last year.
Jesus. Yeah.
I remember when that came out.
Listen, there's like it's like when I talk to my sister. She's 18. And I'm like, she was born 2 years after Melee came out.
Bro.
That's my metric.
I feel my sister is about to start driving. She's about to hit 16. That is insane to me. It warps my entire reality. The fact that like I'm gonna be a boomer soon. Like it's not that far out, man. I'm closer to being a boomer than I am to being a zoomer again.
and the best part about it is that it's interesting to see how our team demographic is because Haji and I are the youngest people on our team by a significant margin.
Discounting subs.
Discounting subs. Well, that's the other part.
Nito's younger than us. He's like 19.
Oh yeah, Nito's younger than us. So I guess I'm the middle. But basically, we have a team range on our team of 14 years between our oldest and our youngest player.
It was worse when Jeddah was around.
Oh man, when Jeddah was around too.
Shadarina, if you're calling Haji a baby, how old are you, huh? Huh? You throwing your hat in the ring?
Matt's the same age as Haji.
That's Coach Matt. He's similar to the same age as us.
I bet he's like I have a friend who is like 9 months older than me, and he always and forever in high school to this very day he just constantly goes, "Oh, I'm getting too old for this." You know, like whenever we try to do something, he'll be like, "Oh, I'm an old man, Brian. You don't get it. You don't understand what it's like to be my age."
That's why you got to turn her around. I have a friend of mine who's she's literally like 2 months older than me. I consistently call her a millennial, and I just give her so much shit. I all the fucking time. You gotta just turn that around on them.
A millennial though, that doesn't work though, because like you are both younger than millennials. Like millennials are older than us. We are Gen Z. The cutoff is usually 96, 97, somewhere in there. I was born in 99. I'm Gen Z.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The same age as me. Pog.
But you guys are both 1999?
Yeah.
That's nuts. The 2000s.
I guess it depends on the definition of millennial, because if you say millennial as in was alive at the turn of the millennium, then technically yes, millennial.
I just don't care about the actual definition, and I will instead just call her millennial anyways.
That's fair. Certainly an option.
Veg.
Certainly an option. Euphorial feels super old too. We're just attacking our entire audience. Everyone either feels attacked for being too young or attacked for being too old. There's a right age. If you aren't between 18 and 22, right now, then you're either too old or too young. Sorry.
So Baymax, I'm curious on we asked ADCs. I'm genuinely curious. What's your take on best champs? Each role that you know currently.
Oh gosh. Well, we kind of hit on a lot of them. I think Jace is disgusting. Top lane, best champs top lane. Okay.
I swear, if you say Gnar, I'm going to throw
No,
hands.
I wasn't gonna say Gnar. I don't think Gnar is good at all right now.
Good. Because I know you're like a Gnar, you're dirty Gnar one trick.
Okay, situationally Gnar is good, but he's not like when I think of like best champion in that role, I'm thinking like you can blind this champion and he will like always be good, or they will always be good. I don't know. I haven't played enough, man.
That's fair.
Jace.
Say that.
Okay, let's pick Jace top lane. I think Tank's good top lane too. I think like Cho'Gath is good. I think Mundo is really good. Let me look at a list of champions. Who else is insane?
I definitely think Cho'Gath is slept on. It's gonna be nice when C9 picks Fudge Cho in mid.
I think Cho's. I think he's good enough to blind, and situationally he's just nuts.
Oh yeah.
I also think that let's go jungle. Jungle. Who is good in the jungle? Remind me of junglers. Somebody just list junglers for me.
Viego, Nidalee, Lee Sin.
Fiddlesticks.
Lee Sin is definitely still
is
good.
busted.
I feel like I haven't
Sin is
seen
awesome.
Fiddlesticks since the preseason. Actually, is he good preseason?
Fiddlesticks is pretty good.
I think Lisa or Fiddlesticks has been one of those champions that's just been under the wire, under the radar for a while now.
I mean, I know he was good like towards the end of last season, but I feel like I haven't seen him as much now that we're in preseason.
Yeah, I think he's one of those champions that's more niche. He's kind of like Draven. Like he just has a more unique play style that people aren't gonna be pulled to, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Ivern. Ivern, I think, is one of the insane or has been insane for like really long periods of time. Not necessarily right now.
But awful right now.
But people don't pick him because he's Ivern.
Just like Shaka Joe.
Yeah.
Niche. People don't pick it. Super good though. I think Zinzao's still good. Lee Sin is probably top tier. Is Viego good? I feel like Viego's not that good anymore.
He's supposed to have been rejuvenated with like the new build, quote unquote. It was like Shield Bell Essence Reaver.
I don't know. I'm biased because I played against a Viego in a game and he ran it down. So I have a very small sample size of games right now. I'm like trying to think like what have I played against? And most champions like 1 or 2 games of that champion. Like, okay, did they run it down or not? If the answer is no, then I'm like, all right, that champion's good. If the answer is yes, I'm like, all right, it's probably not that good.
Beautiful analysis.
Hey, that's why I have Adam. I have Adam on, so I can pitch the questions, and then Adam can just answer, and then I can fill in the gaps with the knowledge that I do have. But when I don't have knowledge, I can just be like, "Here's Adam. He knows what he's talking about."
I'm faster, though. That's why.
Yeah, I haven't. I need to get back into casting. I haven't casted. It's been too long. I pretty much only been doing this. I'm in college though, man. I know you are too, but I don't know.
I'll be joining you guys pretty soon.
Classes are getting me down. Classes. I'm ready for the end of the semester. You know what? You know what we should be ready for? The end of the stream, because it's 11:30. Yes, it is late. Bodie, good luck with your college career that you just mentioned you were going into. I heard that.
Yeah. Keep an eye out on UT Austin. I'll show up as their mid laner soon enough.
Oh, that's only like a 10-hour drive for me. Okay.
Wait, really?
Only a 10-hour drive. Only things Midwesterners say, right?
No, Texans say that shit too.
Are you in Texas?
No. I'm in Springfield, Missouri, southwestern Missouri.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
No, I drove through Austin on the way to San Antonio literally like a month ago. I visited San Antonio over fall break and hung out with a bunch of my online friends who we all had like a gamer house that it was an Airbnb that we rented for like the weekend. Actually, they rented it for a lot longer, but I only stayed for like 3 days because fall break wasn't that long.
Bro, NGL house when?
NGL house? Can I join the NGL house? I want to join.
That.
I'll make fun of Adam.
Oh my god! Is that just the one quality, man?
Yeah, it's the one prerequisite. Just one.
Be a dick to me. Come on.
Yeah, keep an eye out. UT Austin starting mid laner, Bodie incoming. Once I break out of fucking plat.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out. When I see you, I'll see you in like. How long have you been plat for? How long have you been Hardstack plat for?
Bro, like 2 years. That's rough.
You get nothing. No problem. In like 2 more years, you'll be like grandmaster. Don't worry about it. Like,
Just gotta bring out Nooner Jungle Zed mid again.
Yeah, we're just gonna Zed mid, Nooner jungle it. That's fine.
Just whip out Jace mid, and people won't be able to answer it.
True, actually.
Just win.
Just win. Better advice never been spoken. Okay, chat. Any last words? Only 10 hours left. Bully. I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna respond to it. Too late. I already did. Thank you everybody in chat for coming out tonight and hanging out with us. Whatever this was, it went longer than it usually does, and we got a little bit rambly, which we usually do. But thank you to Bodie for coming out and joining us on stream here, and Adam, who has probably he's in bed right now, which is why he's not on camera. Who knows?
I've been trying to fix my camera. It's just not working.
I don't believe you. Because I saw, like, your camera looked like it was working. I saw you get up to fix your camera. But, oh well.
Sad.
I'm the invitation, though. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Which, by the way, Adam, we already have a guest for next week, so don't invite anybody else. Because I lined up. We'll end us. He says he's in. So we're gonna have scoreboard whites. I think is he the team captain, the coach? I don't even know. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna do a little bit of research before next week. We're gonna get that straightened out. Thank you everybody for coming out. Have a fantastic night, Bodie, Adam, Shadowrina, Euphorial, Baked Beans, everybody else in chat who's been talking. We appreciate all you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed either watching actively or listening as Minecraft background music, because I've been told we're very good at that. So thank you guys for coming out. We will see you next week on the plunge, and by that point we will have a bunch of semifinalist winners from our undefeated teams. So playoffs are marching right along here. Yeah, and you guys will have taken down however you pronounce that team's name that you're playing against this week. You'll have beaten them, and you'll be moving forward into playoffs, into the finals.
That's cool.
Let's do it. All right. Catch you guys later. Thank you, chat. Once again, I'm saying thank you way too many times. We're just going to end it. Peace out, y'all. Oh my God. Where's the be right back? No, that's the wrong screen. There we go. Goodbye, screen. Later, guys.